It is a Saturday beautiful morning and the 26th of February 2022 here at the University Inn. This is AET TV empowering you, and your host is Bridget Cimenta, live on Youth Feedback. You are welcome to the show.
I'm so humbled.
Today, I'm so delighted to be with the guild speakers from the two mighty universities around Western Uganda, and that is Bishop Stewart University and also Makerere University of Business School.
Makerere University Business School.
Okay, thank you so much. And I am here with the Right Honorable Speaker, Mr. Asimwe Peter, and the Right Honorable yeah, the man himself, Mr. Ambasize Duncan, and today we are to discuss about the insights on university policies. Yes, we know that all universities are guided by certain policies, and the policies are always there to protect the integrity of the university's operations, to bring out the governance on the structure of the university. And this is what today we are trying to break down, because most of our viewers out there, when we talk about the university policies, to some extent, some of the students, maybe those who are watching live, who are watching from different universities, you might not know what do we mean by the university policies, or what are these university policies. But every institution is always governed by different policies that we shall be sharing about today. Let us just share the insights on the different university policies. Apart from the constitution, what else governs the structure of the university? Starting with the man on my right. We have talked about university policies, but what are some of these university policies that cut across all these universities that we have, especially in the Western Uganda?
Oh, thank you so much, Madam Bridget.
Yes,
I'm also privileged to be here at this time. And good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Oh, my name is Ambasize Duncan, and I'm the guild speaker at Makerere University Business School, Mbarara Regional Campus, and I'm happy to be here. Okay. So, as an institution, we have gotten like 5 or more than 5 policies that students follow and administrators follow, so that the institution can be run. Okay. So, some of the policies we have. Heresy policy, retake policy, gender policy, and government policy. Maybe by breaking one on one, like we have a retake policy. A retake policy, like for someone to get a retake in Makerere University Business School, like this is a person who has not scored 50% of the work in a certain paper. So that person, as a student in MOOBS, must be required to again sit that paper. So it is required that when you're sitting again that paper, you must pay 25,000. And this 25,000 is not refundable. You pay it on the accounts of the institution. So again, we have like we have some causes of why students get more retakes. It may be just like a problem on a lecturer. It might be the carelessness of a student. It might be anything, but a student can get a retake. Then again, like a retake can also be cancelled if you pass in the proper way, because most of the students, they see a student is sharp, he's not he should not be getting a retake. So that's why, like this guy, once you receive your results and find yourself you have a retake, then you take your paper in the faculty board, you appeal. You take your paper in the faculty board, they see it and see why you get a retake. You may request for a remark, you sit there, like with 4 lecturers, they remark your paper, Then if you you passed well the paper, but it was a problem on a lecture because of your issues, then again your retake is taken out from you.
What could be some of those issues that would
So there are a lot of issues, Madam Bridget, and those issues might be actually those are the problems major on girls, sexual harassment or wrangles with the lecturer. If you're a boy, you wanted to fight him in a certain match, such a things, they may bring a retake on your side.
Okay.
So maybe by explaining another policy, we have government policy. Government policy, I think every institution has gotten a government.
Yes.
Whereby this government must be a guild government. And a guild government, there are some steps you take to come up with a guild government. And so a guild government, any government, has a constitution. So most of the things that help us run a government, we get guidance from the tool which is called a constitution. Maybe a council or a parliament of Makerere University Business School, whereby this parliament has GRCs and it is called a council, it majorly put its emphasis on following this tool of a constitution. So this tool also guides us most of the ministers, the executive, this council, the speaker, it tells us what should be done so that we can come up with a government and what should we do in an institution as a government. So it helps us, helps us so much so that we can get a guidance so that we can run a certain government in an institution. Then another policy is all about the health policy. The health policy, every institution caters for health of its students. Like at Makerere University Business School, we always pay a certain amount for health. In case of you don't feel yourself well, you're taken in the hospital of the university for medication.
Okay.
And if not, you have not paid that amount, that means you will cater for your medication on your own bills.
So every student gets free medication as long as you pay the medical fee?
Yeah, every student gets a free medication as long as you have paid that amount, the health fee. Okay. Actually, we emphasize the institution emphasizes so much health thing because we always do health runs, marathon runs, we help the sick people. The amount gotten from that run is catering for those people that have problems or illness of any kind.
Okay. To Mr. Asimo Peter, the Guild Speaker BSU, what could be some of these unique policies that govern your institution?
Before we move any more further, I would love to introduce myself once again to the listeners.
Yes, please.
And I must say that I'm delighted and I'm profoundly excited to be on this great platform of 8 TV, and of which I know it has one of the greatest followings, and I hope whatever that shall be discussed here, it shall be put into practice and it's going to impact someone out there. So I am called Peter Judge Asimwe. I'm a law student at Bishop Stewart University. I happen to be a Right Honorable in Bishop Stewart University, and therefore that mandates me to become the 17th Guild Speaker of Bishop Stewart University. So I'm humbled to be hosted this morning. Back to the question, I would love to let you know about what a university policy is.
Yes, please.
And what does it take to be called a policy. Due to the regard that we have a topic that is inside policies of the university. So a university policy, it literally means a policy that has a broad application or impact throughout the university across all institutions. And for it to be approved, most of the times it is approved by the university council. The university council, not the students' guild. So, this situation categorically means that there are powers beyond the guild.
Yes.
Yes, there are some powers beyond the guild. However much, for everything to be a success, we must work together. One of our core values, or one of our core responsibilities as leaders is to bridge the gap between the administration and the students.
Sure.
So, and I'm very glad that in my term of office, that is being worked upon. Sincerely speaking, if you are to listen to the communications coming from the students, they are surely appreciating. Now, back to the point. The university policies. My fellow Right Honorable from MOOBS, he has connotated about some. But in Bishop Stewart University, we have various policies to the extent that they are there and they must take place because they were implemented by the council, the university council. So I would love to drive your minds to the academic policy, since our sole purpose in various institutions is to attain very much academic performance, and basically we came to study. So that's why I've decided to begin with an academic policy. This academic policy, I will talk about exams. The students sit for exams, and at the end of it all, we always expect marks at the end of it all. Sometimes marks come when they are well versed and they are very nice, and other times marks are not good. Especially, I can give you an example in this COVID era. We have had a lot of challenges because of COVID, because for us, as Bishop Stewart, we decided not to keep seated. We had to further go for online teaching and learning. So we had a lot of hiccups up and down, but thank God everything is being sorted. How is it being sorted? However much it is a policy. When you find a student has a retake and he has a complaint, this student is given a complaint letter and he attaches what he submitted. And maybe to also let you know that before these results are published out, the Senate must first sit and look through the results, and then later they are released. So the stewards, they are given a chance to write on those complaint letters in case they feel like they have given them retakes and they feel like they had performed better. Secondly, on retake, in case you acquire it, for Bishop Stewart, we are paying 20,000 for each paper.
For retake?
Yeah, for a retake. You pay for a retake just 20,000, and then you receipt.
What of the functional fees?
About the functional fees, it is still a policy. There are some things that can't be changed. There are some things that can't be changed because they are policies. I remember it was the last regime where the guild contestant was saying these functional fees should be deducted.
Okay.
Yeah, they should be deducted because we are not in school. We are home. We are having online classes, of which it all ended in vain, because they are telling you this is still the same money that is used to pay the lecturers and whatsoever. So it is a war that we as the Students Guild, we have tried as much as possible to fight. But remember the point that I told you at first, there are some powers beyond the guild. So we as the council, we are mandated to follow what is instituted in our constitution as the guild. However much, as the students' leadership, our major role is to influence those policies. We do influence.
As a student leader,
yes,
you influence these policies.
Yeah, we influence.
How many student leaders sit on the council?
Apparently, we are almost 57.
57?
Yes.
You are 57, but I think there are those maybe 2, 3, 4 students that sit on the council of the university.
You're meaning the university,
yeah,
the university council?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
In Bishop Stewart, it's very unfortunate enough that they sent there the guild president only.
Oh,
so
that is unfair. What about at MOBS?
At MOBS, there also is a guild president.
No, only the guild president sits on the council.
On the council.
On the university council.
In the university council.
Yeah, only the president.
I just wanted to ask, how effective are these policies? How effective are they to the university students?
Of course, these policies, to some extent, they are favorable, but to another extent, you find they are not. But now, what comes to our minds when they are unfavorable, that's where the Students' Guild comes in to sort out such policies. If they need to be ratified or put to a straight line, we just have to write to the Senate, to write to the University Council and see how best they can harmonize about it.
Are they the only means that you can use to approach the council? When you write, do they hear you out, and do they come to your attention to give you the correct response that you would be expecting?
No, partly when I was coming into leadership, I'm a person who loves dialogue. However much, there is a saying that goes, when mercy fails, force is applied. So if we try to write as much as possible and they fail to listen, then we shall involve students, because our desire as leaders is to lead students who are happy, who are healthy, whose rights are observed. Okay. Because it is one of the reasons why we are put in these offices. Yes.
So are there some, yes, we have these the policies that we follow, we go by these policies, but do you think that most of the times they are realistic to that common student? Are they inclusive?
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Bridget. And most of the policies in a university, they actually favors those people who actually pay for them or who acquire them. Like in case for like I will give you an example of a heresy policy. Like this policy, if you have not paid for it, or if you have not paid that amount on the functional fees, that means that poor person or that poor student who is in year one, he will not be helped. Actually, he is not aware that on that amount of the functional fees, there is an amount that caters for health. So that means he will not benefit. So another policy is like if you also, like, most of the students can misuse these policies. So that means they might not be important to them because they don't see an importance of them.
But do you think that these policies are fully implemented? For example, now let's talk about the health policy. You said that they pay 25,000.
They
for
the health. They pay 50,000.
For a year, it is 50,000. So now, is it fully utilized by this student? Does it align with the needs and the interests of a student? If at all it is 50,000 that is paid, does every student have access to these medical facilities, or it is to a certain group of people, maybe to the students doing? There is no medicine at your school, unfortunately. So I just wanted to say that, do they only favor maybe medical students, or it is open to every student that every time they are ill they are attended to?
About implementation, it's like one of the students or half of the students may just benefit, and if they have all paid actual. But he or she, a student, can pay for that amount, but actually even he doesn't know that is its importance is to get medication at the campus clinic. And once he or she feels sick, he may go out and get get medication from out. That means he has not utilized his amount, and at the end of it all, this amount is not refunded.
Okay. Talking about we've talked about the health policy. I think when we were starting this conversation, you talked about something concerning tuition.
Yes.
How effective is that policy?
Oh, for the case of the tuition policy, this is whereby in Makerere University Business School, actually here in Mbarara Regional Campus, like you must, to sit for a certain exam, you must have paid 100%, and you are having an examination permit. But then, this is where you find like we are not of the same level, or we are not of the same category that we can make it to pay 100% at the time of exams. So these people are given a provision, like they can sit to a certain percentage of their payment of tuition, and that is 50%. So you just go, pick a letter, the provisional letter, fill in when you're going to pay back that amount. Then you're given like 3 papers. Then you sit for those papers as you're also trying to get that amount so that you can continue and finish your exams.
Okay.
So then again, this way, and that means you can sit without finishing the tuition, the full amount, 100%. So it is advantage actually on MOOCs.
Okay. I think when we were talking, he talked about how the students were complaining about the function of fees having studied online. Was there any adjustment made, or finally they had to pay this money to sit their end of semester exams?
I won't say that there were any adjustments, but then, to the best of my knowledge, I think they had to come into agreement, and finally they had to pay tuition. However much I've had the Right Honorable say that they can sit for exams even without finishing tuition. It is very evident that in Bishop Stewart University, it is also likely to happen, because you just have to visit the VC's office. However much she tells you to come with a parent, because we have been explained to as student leaders that most of the times these students are given tuition and they spend it on some other things. So this time round, on very many applications applying to the various offices, the administration has accepted that students should come with their parents to plead in case they want to sit for exams without finishing up their tuition.
Okay. As the heads of the guild house, I know being a guild speaker, you are always the head of these other guild councillors, or these MPs, whatever you call them, in your different institutions. How do you influence this policy implementation? Obviously, I don't think that you are there in the policy formulation, but when they are being implemented, you have a hand in it as a guild leader, as the top of other GRCs. So how do you influence, or which role do you play in the implementation of these different key policies that we have said?
One of the core values of leadership is passion.
Okay.
You must be passionate about everything you're doing. The way you handle your house, we always call it a house when it is a council meeting. The way you handle things also matters most of the times. So partly in influencing these policies, you find that since we have a representative on the university council, we write as much as possible so that they submit the students' grievances in time and in a writable time frame, so that the council can also implementing what they can. That's how best you can get involved in university policies. You write to the council, then the group president takes your grievances, and on reaching the council, they take note. That's how they can influence.
Okay. Yes, there are these policies that are already in existence, but to some extent, I don't think that these policies cater for everyone's interest. As guild leaders, don't you have some other policies that you feel like this should be put in place, or this should be worked on? If at all, maybe an issue raised from the students, maybe they are in need of let me say they need change in an adjustment, maybe in the examination policy. They ask, maybe as we were for lockdown, and then we had very many schools were doing online studying, and maybe it is a request from the students so that there should be adjustments in the examination policy, maybe according, there are retakes and very many other things, tuition, stuff like that in the examination policy. As their leader, how could you handle such an issue?
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Bridget. And about that, actually, it is the same question like you put right honorable from BSU, and it is all about implementation, or how can we implement these policies, or how can we go about them if they have been misused by the administrators, or if they have not put them in place so that we can benefit from them. So this is whereby our responsibility is, and we have gotten powers by a tool of constitution. We have to by the powers of the constitution, whether you want or whether you don't want, as a university you have to implement these policies, because these policies, most of them we pay for them. So, and again, how we can advocate for these policies, like in the House, it is like a head of the House or a head of Parliament calls meeting. Like if there is any policy that needs to be at least have some changes, or like an examination policy. We know we faced like during COVID-19 time, we faced a problem of online examination, online studies, whereby we had a lot of problems with math and each and everything. But this is whereby we exercised our powers, and the council had to sit and try at least a solution for this online thing. At least we could, like now, previously, at least we could have some papers physically, because we know it is a new normal. Like we have now to change to technology, everything should be in technology. But now it's like we had some physical papers and then other online papers. But this was advocated majorly by the council and post the executive of the cabinet. So that means we have powers by the constitution to advocate, fight, and look for the implementation of these university policies. Majorly these policies that we pay for.
How do you select the executive?
The executive committee, like in Makerere University Business School, executive, these are majorly ministers, and ministers are actually appointed from the members of the MPs.
Okay.
And it's like it's not a given number, like we have to take half of the members of the GLCs by the constitution, or we have to give all members must be taken from the house, but it depends on the wish of the guild president. He might get like 5 members from the GLC, 10 according to his wish.
I thought it was by constitution, by law.
Yeah, it is by the constitution that in chapter 4, article 28 of our constitution, like members of the executive, most of them must be getting from the what? From the GLC house or from the council.
Okay.
So it is his wish, like he can get 10, he can get 11, he can get 20, but even he must come in a consensus with the what? With the house.
Okay, thank you so much. We are live at AET and we are here at the university and I can say let us just go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, still on the same topic, sharing insights on the different policies within the university. Peter doesn't want to talk about the unfavorable policies. No one is going to crucify you.
No, it's very fine. It's very fine. Very fine.
You can start.
No one is going to crucify you.
You can start.
Okay, welcome back from that short commercial break. Still on AET TV, empowering you, and we are live on the youth feedback together with the different speakers from different universities, that is Bishop Stewart University and Makerere Business School. Oh my god, I probably just learn how to speak that name fluently because it is teasing me. Now I just want us to go through the loopholes and in these policies. I know they are some policies are unfavorable, but how unfavorable are they? So I just wanted us to bring out everything that we have on these policies, because these policies cut across. They cut across. Every university has its policies on education, policies on health, policies on what. But I know that there's some loopholes in these policies. There is the way in which they do not favor every student. How unfavorable do you think they are?
Okay. The institution is called Makerere University Business School, and it is a regional campus.
Okay.
The head campus is in Nakawa, Kampala.
Okay.
It has gotten actually other regional campuses like in Arua, Jinja, and Bare.
What of Bushane?
No, Bushane.
Oh, there is Chambogo. I recall there is Chambogo.
Okay, thank you so much, Bridget.
Yes, please.
And about the loopholes of these policies, of course, for each policy has to get a loophole, I think, if the university has not done it in the right way. Like, I will give you an example of a health policy. It has actually gotten a lot of loopholes, whereby, like, a person may pay, like a student may pay that amount that is required for health, but again, he has not felt sick like for the whole year or for the whole semester. That means he has not utilized his amount, his health amount he paid. So, and at the end of it all, he's not going to be refunded that amount. Don't you see that is a big loophole? Actually, I wish if this guy has paid this amount and he did not utilize this amount, I think he must be refunded that amount. Because for every year, once you have utilized that amount or you have not, you have to pay.
Did you say you
Okay.
have a university clinic, or there is some hospital somewhere?
No, we have a university clinic.
Okay.
We have to take our details at the first day we report at campus. It gets to know who are we, so that we go there, pick or get medication when we are sick.
And how free are students? How free are they to respond to utilize those opportunities, like within the university clinic, or anytime they get sick, they just go for self-treatment?
Actually, there is at times when a person has fell sick on Sunday, and Sunday at the university is closed.
Okay.
And this guy is in his in his hostel away from the university. So he is now going to look for a certain clinic so that he can get an immediate first aid. Take an example, someone has gotten an accident and is a student, but he paid for a health fee. Do you think this guy will also come from Masaka and come the campus to get medication from campus? Not really. So I think this guy must get a medication from where he is. And actually, I was of a view that if we can, I will see it with my council, whether we can say, like, if we don't utilize our paid amount on health or like an amount on entertainment or what, they can refund that amount.
All right. Then what about these other policies? Are they favorable?
Not actually. Other policies are also not favorable if the university has not like fully brought them or they have implemented thoroughly to the students. Take an example of tuition policy. It is actually a bit favorable to the student, but also students must understand, or administrators and students must understand that we are not of the same of the same level. Like if you can manage to pay a certain amount in the real time, me, I can't. So this policy also can be revised, like if you can pay at least 25 of the tuition.
25%?
25% of the tuition. At least you
want everyone pay 25 if we put it on 25%?
Not really. Not really, but at least if he has managed to pay 50%, at least he can do all the papers, but not limiting him to do 2 papers and pay again like 25 so that he can make 75, such a things. At least if he can make 50%, they give him a grace period whereby he will be in the village looking for the money. By the start of the semester, he pays that remaining 50%, he continues, like that one at least can work.
Okay. What are some of the unfavorable policies at Bishop Stewart University?
First and foremost, I would love to address our minds that if the administration accepts to work with the Students' Guild, then all will be well. Why do I have to say this? I will find that I'll quote this, some dictatorship, because yes, it is true, it is the administration and it is in charge of almost everything. But what should also be put in our minds is that we are also student leaders and we are chosen by students to come and serve, to put their grievances at the forefront. So you find that it is very necessary for the administration in each and every institution to accept to work with the guild for better service and proper delivery. So you find that some of the loopholes, they are being brought about due to the fact that the administration has hesitated to work with the students. But where you find that the administration is really working with the students, you find that it is to a larger extent that the policies are favorable. So it is always my wish that before any policy is passed, they should first bring it to the guild council so that it is discussed also, and then we send them the feedback. Because at the end of it all, we are just in these offices for a limited time. So whatever we discuss here, it is going to affect the other generations to come. So you find like at my mighty institution, that is Bishop Stewart University, there are some policies that we found there. And when we try to come in, they tell us it is a policy, it can't be changed.
Okay.
So it has been quite a challenge, but we are pushing it. And at the end of it all, we hope for the best. So I can give you
some of those
I can give you an example. If I'm to talk about the health policy, you find when a student becomes sick at night, we always refer them here to Harrow Hospital. The clinic we have is for first aid. They give you first aid, but how about when the student is in poor moods, is very bad, very ill? We are always recommending those students be brought to Harrow. And when they reach there, they have to first wait for the recommendation from the university. So as the guild, we deem it fit that the students should be worked on by the mere fact that they have student IDs. So that is one of the loopholes. Secondly, the procurement policy. You find we as the guild, there are some things that we can't procure for ourselves. It is the university policy that everything, almost everything, should be bought by the university. And you find that at times we are being delayed and we are not serving the students to our capacity due to the fact that we are a bit limited. And then
there is a lot of delayed services by the guild.
Sure. So you find that it is a bit alarming that we can't serve, yet we have the capacity. But due to the fact that we are limited by the policy, we can't. So that's why at first I was telling you, these policies should be brought to council. And if at all a policy is to be passed, let the guild be aware.
Do they always involve the guild, or it is always by the top management?
It is always by the top management. I don't want to shy about this because
okay.
First of all, I was elected and I was brought to this office by the students. So I have to say what transpires. So, but you find when these policies they are brought out and there are grievances from the community, from the stewards. So it is an eye-opener for the student leadership. They're always asking us, what have you done about this? But I want to assure the stewards that we are not seated.
Okay.
We are working our best so that we can create a conducive environment.
Okay. I think that's so good. As you've heard from the different speakers from different universities, I know this is for every university. Every university has its own policies, but most of these policies cut across all universities. And I think most of the universities are not allowed to procure property, anything. It is all done by the university. But to some extent, I feel like it's better that way, though still it doesn't favor the guild.
Maybe to hint something about that. You know, we leaders, there is what we call the cover that we should obtain. One of them is transparency. Secondly, it is accountability. So if you can give me the money and I go and procure, and at the end of it all I bring to you accountability, what else do you want? I've done my part, and you also say according to the accountability and the action that has been taken that I've done it. So I think we are in a generation where the administration should come out to trust student leadership. Because if the students can trust them with such offices, then how come that the administration has to come in and limit the students?
Okay. But why do you think most universities do not allow the student leaders to procure these things, these items, on their own as the guild?
I don't know actually why these universities don't trust the leaders. I don't know for sure. Because it is, as Right Honorable from DSU has said, actually when we are coming in leadership, we come with a core content of values. And these values, they are the real values we want to inculcate in the students' community. Majorly these, we are always transparency, and we always have accountability. So majorly, like if the university could wish actually or accept that the students leaders should take part in the procurement of each and everything, you find even they can procure anything, like in the guild office. They procure things, they procure furniture, they procure everything. You find that they are procuring on your behalf. But then why? It is just only because they don't trust the leaders.
Okay.
But then
I think they should start to trust us, because the time they entrust you with power, that means you can. Because if you are entrusted by thousands of students, that means
Madam Bridget, I think the administrators actually they are not the one that entrust us with the votes. So I think if you could ask the students community that who should be procuring, I think
they say student leaders.
They will say automatically.
And it is on record that most of the times we should observe students' rights. If we are to go in democracy, you can able to say that the students prefer this and this. Because there is no way you expect me to run a government when I don't have finances. You get? What requisition not going to serve? That is a must, and it is very evident that each one of us can see that. So you find that to a bit extent, we need to be independent. We need to be independent. I'm not saying over independent, because we need to work together.
Yes.
To some extent, we need to be independent so that we can serve to our best. Because at the end of it all, yes, you are a leader, but someone is going to ask you in your term of office, what did you do? And will you tell them that the administration limited me? So at times, to say that, it's high time they started trusting us.
Okay.
Yes, it's high time they started trusting us.
All right, as we are winding up the show, thank you so much to the viewers for tuning in and for following us up to now. As we are winding up, I just want you to give your final regards, your final word to the viewers, the people who are viewing us live out there, as you also hint a little bit on how we can improve, on how the university can align with the students to improve the policies so that they can favor the two parties.
Okay, thank you, Madam Bridget. And I will start with that thing of how the administration can be in touch with the students' leaders, at least so that they can implement students get benefit of these policies. Majorly, it's like we've said, if the administrators will learn trusting student leaders, it would be actually very good, and these would benefit the students. Because, for example, if this policy of gender, the gender policy, like if the administrators can be able in line with the students' leaders, they get aware that at least girls in this institution are suffering this problem. That means they will get the real information from the student leaders. Student leaders, both the cabinet, the executive cabinet and the council, will compile the information about the problems of the girls in a certain institution. They will forward the combined information or research about the problem which the girls are suffering, then to the administrators. But you may find out that some administrators are coming up openly to stop the problem before contacting the students' leaders. You get to understand? But if there is a connection, a trustworthy move, like the administrators can accept, trust the leaders so that they can deliver each and everything to them to be worked upon, that could be good.
Okay.
Actually, I want to thank you so much for hosting me, I take this opportunity to thank you so much.
I'm humble. Thanks for your wisdom, your words of your ideas.
I'm so glad to be here at ATTV.
Okay.
And Makerere University is a good institution, which I
great.
can tell everyone to come and join.
Wow.
That is it.
Okay, thank you so much for your final remarks. And then to Honorable Asimwe Peter, your final remarks to the viewers.
Before I finalize, we as Bishop Stewart University, we know the way, we show the way, and we go the way.
Our God reigns.
That is our identity. We have one of the most conducive environments that each one of us can come and attain at any level of education. I'm a law student. Currently, if you go to the statistics, Bishop Stewart Law School is the second in the whole country according to performance.
Wow, that's great.
Yes, I heard you say our God reigns. It is very true.
Our God reigns.
Yeah. So, once again, I'm delighted and exceedingly humbled to be hosted today. And I wish even next time you call us.
Sure.
Because it is, I believe someone's life has been impacted because most of the students, need to know reasons. They just first voters and everything almost stops there.
Some students just vote and they don't know where
they
these
don't
leaders
follow
will later, but they don't make any follow-up.
So such programs, if they have a proper funnel, I believe most of the answers can be replied here.
Okay.
So and I'm so happy and enlightened that some of the students are watching and they know me better. I'm very principled, by the way. Very principled and
Wow.
to the students' rights, I'm not a joking subject. It is, in fact, I'm pro-student.
Okay.
That is a fact. I'm pro-student and I always observe the rights of the students. And meanwhile, knowing that the quality of my thoughts will always determine the quality of my decisions, and later the quality of my decisions will determine the quality of my action. As simple as that.
Wow.
Otherwise, thank you for hosting us today, and I wish that you continue such programs. Next time you can even invite other guild leaders, and you see what they say about. Otherwise, we need to be trusted. That is a fact. We need to be trusted. Because if we are not trusted, no one is going to trust us.
True, very true.
Not neglecting the fact that the students expect much from us. So I remain Peter Judge Asimwe, and I'm proud to be a steward.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming here on the show. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for coming in the show. Yes, and to our viewers, thank you so much for following us on Ayeti TV, and we are always grateful and ready to give you what is going on in town, what is trending, and what the youth have to say every time on different aspects. Thank you so much for watching. It has been Youth Feedback with Bridget and Samantha, and as he said, his thought determines his
decision.
And then the decision will determine the action. I think to our people who are watching, maybe you can be an administrator or anyone watching, just know that students' rights matter, and yeah, let's learn how to respect each other as students, as the staff, so that we can always deliver quality information, quality policies, so that we can be on the same line. I remain Bridget and Samantha. Let's meet next Saturday.
Peace.